Hello, everyone. Welcome to another segment of Caring for Seniors. I'm your host, Nathan Polete. Today, we have our guest is Toni Stenmark of Hardage Giddens Dignity Memorial. I think I said that correctly.
Correct. You
Toni,
did.
thank you for joining
Absolutely.
me. Appreciate you being here. I know you just got off of one show, so you get to double up today.
And, I do. I'm excited about it.
Probably I get the second half, so if you need to pause extra or anything, just let me know. Take your time.
I'm good. Thank you.
As the folks know, this show is really dedicated about you and kind of your connection with caring for seniors. And I understand, just talking briefly, that you're actually kind of involved in that on a regular basis with assisted living, independent living. And I'll let you expand more on that. But, why we're here, also talk about all the services, because reading the bio of the funeral home, it's not just about after, post death and setting up a funeral.
Correct.
There's a lot of things I read about prepping ahead of time.
Correct.
So I'll let you take over from
Well,
here.
thank you. So one of the things, whenever you're I actually do pre-planning.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're pre-planning, you want to think about your children and the fact that you want things to go smoothly so they don't have to figure out the finances at the last minute, do the overspending, try to figure out what would mom or dad want. Or even your spouse, planning it with your spouse so both of you get exactly what you want. A lot of times families don't think about it until it's too late, and then they're all going, what do we do now? So this is having a conversation that's not quite as dreadful and as tense, and you're not grieving and going through all those things. So you actually can talk about it. You can kind of cut up and carry on about the other person while
Sure.
you're, with your decisions and things. And so it's a whole different conversation that you have when it's before somebody passes, whether it's when they're ill or if they're not ill and we're both sitting here completely healthy.
Right.
And we're going to talk about planning your funeral,
Yeah,
and
we're all living and dying,
Exactly. We don't get a choice when either.
Right,
So
exactly. That's a good point.
the main thing for me is I'm in this business because I lost all of my family. Not all at one time, thank you, Jesus.
Mhm.
But I did lose my brother at 37. My sister was 49. My husband was 46.
That's young.
My
Very
best
young.
friend was 45, and then both of my parents, and 3 of those were within a year.
Oh, man.
So doing this is a calling for me, and it's something that I do because I don't want people to be in the situations I was in at the time.
Yeah, especially the financial impact, right? That
Exactly.
One big lump sum. As we're sitting here talking, I'm thinking about, when my stepfather passed and my mom was put in this position and, all the kids being around, and like, she looked at us kind of like,
Now what?
Where's this money coming from?
Exactly.
We all pitched in, obviously helped, and but really no planning on our part. Right?
At all.
We didn't get ahead of it. And yeah, it's shock, right?
Well, and the thing that I've learned about it is you plan for your wedding, you plan for a baby to be born, you
Right.
plan for a college fund, you do all these things, but sometimes life insurance is just not enough.
Correct.
And we have a lot of situations where people think someone has life insurance and they quit paying on it. So now they don't have it. And then they're stuck not having any, in a situation they can't afford. And it's very disheartening. So you don't want people to have to go through that.
So there's no really restrictions on when you start. You just kind of,
get started now.
Educating the families like, hey, start now. You'll pay less, right? You can
Exactly.
finance it out longer.
Exactly. We give, I give up to 5 years. And we work out the payments so that they fit in your budget.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to do everything that you want. And then we can also do other things like doing it in pieces, where if you can't afford to do the cemetery right now, we do your funeral side, and then we do the cemetery later.
Gotcha.
And then if there's people that have already done something with us, I can do a file review and go over everything so they know exactly what they have and what they need beforehand.
Oh, excellent.
So when a child comes into a situation where mom has just died, she's 85, and you've got maybe 3 siblings or 3 children.
Mm-hmm.
And she comes in and we talk to the family, and the family says, well, we know mom has everything done. And we find out mom didn't have everything done. Mom didn't know that everything wasn't done. And now we have to do something else. So, we also have a situation where everything is done and the family comes in and we take what we call the prearranged contract and we move it to the time of passing contract. And when we do that, that money, whatever the price was for that day. So some people have spaces they paid $300 for, and now that same space is over $6,000.
Oh, wow.
So we move that money over, and it is equal to whatever it is today. So that's the great thing that people don't realize. Some of these people bought their things in the 70s are just now passing away, but they paid for everything
rate,
and they kept it there. So you lock in your price of today's price so it never goes up.
Yeah, and we know nothing but
big advantage.
Prices go, dealing with cost of goods. I know all about that right now.
Exactly.
And you have me thinking about my business, our business, I should say. And we're kind of like the precursor because,
right.
in this durable medical world, you're helping with hospital beds. It starts out as a cane, then that turns into a rollator, which might turn into a wheelchair or a power scooter.
Exactly.
And then once you get to the hospital bed, now we're in a different state. And it's just, we run into people that we get calls and say, my family member's passed because, we delivered a hospital bed, and it's progression, right? And
right.
You're
right.
You're on the post side of it. And I like how the planning, now you got me thinking about my own.
That's planning. The idea. That's the idea.
I'll be talking to my wife tonight about, when do we sign up,
Well, the thing is nobody is exempt.
Right.
Everybody needs it. So it's one of those things nobody wants to think about. Like the song says, everybody wants to go to heaven. They just don't want to go now.
Right.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those, we don't have a choice.
Right. Right. It's not an option. My thought is he's sitting up there and he's got a deck of cards, and when he pulls your name, you're gone.
Yeah.
No matter who you are. So it's all planned.
Hopefully I got 30, 40 more to go. So,
but the thing about doing it as a conversation beforehand, and I always tell my clients, don't go home and talk to your children and ask them what they want. Mm-hmm. This is about you. This is about your wife. This is about the two of you being able to do things your way without anybody interfering. So you do everything for yourselves the way you want it. And then you tell your children, this is all taken care of. This is what we did. And if they say anything, then you say, sorry, this is what we did.
Yeah.
We're the parents. We decided this. Yeah. When you do a lot of life decisions throughout your life, when you're doing big decisions, you don't ask your kids what they think. You do it for you and your wife.
Well,
a lot of times.
Back, and I'm at that stage now. It's like, I remember my parents didn't really care what I thought.
Exactly.
So I'm at that stage, like, I don't really care what they think. And I got them to their point of adulthood.
Right.
You got out of the house. Now it's my turn.
Yes.
So
yes.
I think about my parents. That's like kind of how they were.
That's how we grew up, and that's a good thing though for me, because it makes it easier to understand that it's what you want and what it's about you and your wife.
Sorry, I always keep seeing things move on that screen, and I don't know what they're trying to tell me.
I don't know either.
We're having a great conversation. You can cut this out if you need to. So I let them handle that. I was looking just real quick. I know you kind of go around to the assisted living, independent living space as well.
Correct.
You set up appointments, I guess, with families, or you just kind of go to the director there, or
I usually work with the marketing or the director. Okay. And what we try to do is we try to set up what we call a lunch and learn.
Yeah.
And we do a seminar, and we basically talk to people, and it's the families as well as the person that's in the assisted living. And we try to let them know what's available and what their options are. And in a lot of senior living facilities, they have what they call a Medicaid spend down. So if somebody comes in and they have no money except for, like, they're on Medicaid, but they don't own a bunch of property, but they have a few things that are putting them over the limit, then they need to do a Medicaid spend down, because the facilities want them to have pre-arrangements.
Right.
So that's one of the great things about it, is we can help you with a Medicaid spend down. So you spend the money to where there's nothing left, so that you're not over that limit, because the person's going to have their money every month for them, but they can't be over a certain limit.
Gotcha.
So we're informed about that, as well as veterans. We work with veterans that are seniors, and we tell them, we have a veterans planning guide we give out, and we tell them what they're entitled to as far as what the military actually pays for and what they don't, because there's a lot of controversy out there with a lot of people thinking that the military pays for everything for your funeral.
Right.
If you're active duty, yes. If you're not, no. So there's pieces that you need to know about that. And it's one of those things that we all try to just,
No, that's super
get rid of
informative.
all the pieces that are wrong.
Because there's just assumptions, right?
Yes.
Overall. Great information. I appreciate it. How can everyone find you, get a hold of you, or make contact?
They can reach me at Hardage Giddens at 904-282-9336. And I would love to speak to anybody that has questions. And I am going to be booking some senior living centers. So be ready to see me.
That's fantastic. Well, thanks, everyone. Appreciate your time. And we will talk soon. Thank you for being here, Toni. I much appreciate it. And till next time, I'm Nate Polete. Thank you.